What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. So, I have a totally different setup on my end today. And I know I've said that multiple times now since I've been doing these live giveaways, but I was hoping to get on here actually on Wednesday and do like a dry run with this new software. So, hopefully, you guys can hear me. Can everybody hear me out here right now? And hopefully, my live chat is not lagging with this. So, let me know if you guys can hear me right now. We hear you. Awesome. So, I got a new mic, obviously, but I'm trying to do things through third party software rather than going in through the webcam. So I'm not used to talking into one of these right here. So if you guys can't hear me, just say so in the live chat and I'll try to make adjustments. Again, I was trying to do a dry run earlier in the week, but due to the holidays, I was kind of all over the place. So hopefully we have some good audio going on here. I'm not actually on YouTube, which feels very different for me. So it's lagging a bit. Okay. See if I can make any adjustments on my end. But yeah, so hopefully this all goes smooth. And if not, I can always switch over to YouTube for the next one. Just try this out and see how it goes. But let me give you guys the link for the giveaway that is only for you guys that are joining us live today. Seems better now. Okay. Sometimes when I start out with the live streams, they do lag a little bit. I've heard that in the past too. So I don't think it's just specific to this. I'm in the chat. Yes, you are. All right. So here is the link. Go ahead and enter this right here. And I'm going to just try to see if I can pin this. Can I pin that? Let me know if that actually pinned to the top. Doesn't look like on my end, it says starred. So it's a little bit different over here than what I'm used to doing everything through YouTube. So you guys are kind of helping me out with the dry run, I guess. So did that pin to the top for you guys of the live chat? Since I'm not actually in YouTube right now, everything looks very different on my end. Not pinned yet. Okay. I'll try to figure that out then. All right. Let's see what we can do about that. Yeah, because it says starred for me. All right. Google, here we come. Bear with me, guys. This is my learning experience. Yeah, it says that you just have to do exactly what I did there. Hopefully. Yeah, everybody's saying no. Hopefully there's no ads. I don't know how that works on here. I think they just put them wherever they want to, honestly. All right. So still nothing pinned for you guys, right? That's weird. Well, I will send it over to you guys one more time. Don't see it. Okay. Here it is again. And as I figure this out, I'm just going to keep throwing it in there for everybody that is just kind of joining us. But yeah, it says start on mine. I don't know what the deal is with that. Did that work? Now I'm seeing it on my screen. It works. Sweet. All right, so we got it. All right, awesome. So we have that's going to be our last giveaway. It's going to be the mini PC, and I have everything right here. So here is the ACEPC PowerBox Pro. This is the mini PC that is up for grabs today. 100% for free. And then I also have the Anbernic RG35 XX Plus, and we also have this smartwatch right here as well. So I'm going to give you guys a link. I'm not going to pin this one, but this is for the, what's the first one today? The smartwatch, right? Yep, 15 minutes left on this one. I'm going to copy and paste this to you guys. Hopefully. There we go. So I do apologize if I'm a little bit awkward tonight as I just try to get used to everything. Weird not being on YouTube for one of these. And I probably don't need to have the headphones on now that the audio is good for everybody. With this link coming at you guys right here in the live chat, This is for the smartwatch, which we have, let's see, 14 minutes left on right now. And for a few people that reached out and said that I did the wrong end time on that, I did make the adjustment. So you may have, tried to enter that earlier and you maybe ran into an issue. It's all fixed now. So you can jump over to that link. Again, I'll provide it to you guys here in the live chat one more time. It's this one coming at you right here. Audio is great. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I literally made no adjustments to this. I just unboxed it the other day and plugged it in. So I'm definitely liking this. I did some dry runs with the microphone at least, and everything seemed to be good there. So it looks like there's 177 in here right now, which is awesome. Love seeing that. I think that the record prior to last week was just insane because of the 96 terabyte setup that I gave away. But I think the record was like 150, 155 maybe. So no, so I'm on StreamYard, which I've used in the past when I did that. What was it? The interview with Jigsaw, the guy that used to work for DK Oldies a while back. I mean, I feel like that was like a year ago now. I don't think it was quite that long, but I used StreamYard and then I really had no use for it. So I kind of paused my service with them and just jumping back into it now. But so far, I'm really liking it. I won the Macho Man Slim Jim. Oh, there we go. Love when this thing jumps. 2021 collector's edition holder from a gas station today. You were the first person I thought of. That's awesome. I've actually been looking at those um, on Mercari. There's a lot of them that are being resold on there, and they're worth some money too. It seems like everybody's getting like well over $100 for them. So there's like a ultra rare one of those as well. So there's a couple different outfits that he's wearing, but that's awesome. I would love to have one of those just to like put my pens in. But that's pretty sweet. So what's going on, guys? What games you guys been playing this week? What's new? I hope everybody had a good Christmas for those that celebrate. And then obviously we have New Year's coming up. Yes, it is. Yep, I got the Detroit D right there, just like your profile picture. Not from Detroit, but lived out there for a little while. Lived in Canton for about 7-8 months, and then Oakland for another 7 or 8 months. So I was out there in 2008, but I've remained a Tigers fan, a little bit of a Red Wings fan. I always keep up with them. What's going on, Kevin? Hope everything's good. My son has been teaching me Minecraft. At least he thinks so. I never got into Minecraft. I don't think I've ever played Minecraft. My stepson plays it a little bit. I have absolutely no idea how it works, to be perfectly honest. War Thunder, Dead Cells, nice. Lemmings on the RG35 Double X. Nice. We're giving away the Plus today. And actually, I have the Double X over here that I'm going to be giving away probably in the next couple of weeks. GameCube, Legacy of Thieves, Uncharted. That's always a good one. God of War from Southwest Detroit right here. Oh, nice. Well, welcome. I don't think I've seen you in here before. I would remember the Old English D. Just going through life. I get it, Tim. I get it. I've actually had more time. I feel like a little bit more time lately to game more so than usual. How you feeling about the Lions versus Cowboys? Tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know, I feel like everybody this year they're either teams are on or they're totally off. It's hard to kind of get a feel for everybody. I feel like, and I'm all over the place. I don't really follow one specific football team, so I just try to watch in general. And yeah, it's very inconsistent. I'm not sure. It could go either way, honestly. I would say I'm going to go Lions just because you got to keep it Detroit. All right. Let's see. Playing Bluey game with my wife and kids. I got to check that out. My son is huge into Bluey. I feel like he's got a new thing every week though. Just got my VR headset and played Metal Slug on virtual 100 screen. Overkill. I've never tried a VR. Well, no, that's not true. I've never tried like an at-home VR. I've gone to there's a place somewhat local that has pretty much all the same stuff you can get at home, honestly, but played there a little bit and it's an interesting experience. Cannondale mountain bike. Sweet. I've heard of those. Just updated my PS4 membership, got a few new games from the catalog in the PS Store. Sweet. Shout out from Flint, Michigan. Nice. Was only in Flint once. I wasn't there for very long. Arturo, not a whole lot, just doing the live stream, and then I'm actually going to go through with you guys a bunch of stuff here that I'm going to be doing review videos for here on the channel, and then they're going to actually become future giveaways here. So I've got a lot of really. I feel like this is the slow like recovery week for giveaways, but I've got a ton of stuff that I'm going to be doing. So clear up any confusion, a lot of people thought that I was just doing giveaways for the month of December, because I think that everything so far has been in December. Could be wrong. We might have done one in November, but everything is going to keep going. I'm not stopping any of this. We're going to keep doing giveaways every Friday for at least the foreseeable future. But I think I have enough stuff here to probably go for like another month at least, just off of what I have literally right next to my left leg here. So I'm going to show you guys some stuff momentarily. Got my Cat VR treadmill working with Quest 2. Nice. What's that game for VR right now that is like I feel like every other commercial that I've been watching lately? God, I'm blanking on the name, but it looks pretty sweet. And I think it's for Quest 2. Holland, Michigan. Nice. Modded consoles. Nice. Dreamcast plan. Oh, sweet. So you got everything on a Dreamcast? I've never modded a Dreamcast. I don't think I've really looked into it. Vermont here. Nice. I was just in Vermont 3 days ago. 3 days ago? What day is today? Friday? Yeah, 3 days ago we came back. 6-year-old son got a Switch for Christmas. Nice. What games is he playing? We're just starting to get into stuff there. Nice. I'm glad that so you just stumbled across the channel, getting into retro machines. Nice. I got a lot of stuff on mini PCs. That seems to be the way to go these days. So that's always a good thing. I'm going to jump ahead in the live chat because it's really easy for me to get behind on here. So if you ask me any questions or anything like that, just throw them in again. Blitz in the background. Yeah, Blitz is back. So Blitz has been over there for a little while, and I'm actually going to totally mod that pretty soon. I've been saying that for like 2 months now. But I have somebody doing graphics for it, and I've been kind of back and forth on what I want to do with it, but I think I've got it ironed out. So that's eventually going to get modded. And the cool thing is, I love NFL Blitz, but I'm going to still have access to not only the 3 games that are on here now, but like every Blitz game that was ever made will be available on this because I'm going to mod it with a mini PC. So and then I'm thinking, so I was just talking to last week, we did the 96 terabyte giveaway from Chris Coolmod. I was just talking to Chris the other day. He's got a light gun setup that I think he just finished it, and he's got some information on his channel. So if you could jump over there, you can get some additional information on, what I'm talking about right now. I watched, I think 90% of his video. I got to finish it actually after this, but I'm going to review and dive in depth into his entire setup again. So it's been a while since I've gone through one of his setups, but I think I've gone through everything that he's put out so far in the past. So this will be exciting. I'm a huge light gun gamer. Probably my most favorite way to enjoy arcade games. So yeah, we're going to jump into that here on the channel, and I'm going to create a custom, well, kind of a custom cabinet, a light gun specific arcade cabinet with that. So I'm really looking forward to that. So eventually back here, it's going to be a pinball machine. We're going to have the modded version of this Blitz cabinet here, and then something else. And then I'll see what I have room for, because the little couch over here is never intended to actually stay here long term. So I think everything behind me is probably going to get rearranged. We'll get some cabinets in here, and I'll do videos on like how I mod everything. And I've got some cool ideas for the light gun one. I've just been trying to iron out what type of light guns I actually want to use. So I've got a ton of stuff coming in. So if you're a light gun fan, definitely stay tuned. I'm going to be testing out the new retro shooters pretty soon. And I've got Sinden right now. Actually, I've got a mod kit for the Sinden light gun coming to me that I'm really excited about. It basically turns the Sinden light gun into a machine gun. So that'll be pretty interesting. Let's see. Just catching up on some of the comments here. Paper Mario Origami King. Nice. I was playing a little Super Mario RPG earlier this week. Ghost and Goblins on PSP. Very nice. We were in the arcade when Blitz came out. When was the first NFL Blitz? Because I feel like I got into it. Would have been like 96, 97. Audio is 100% improvement. Great job on the mic setup. Nice. I'm glad to hear that because me trying to figure out audio just is not easy at all. So I'm glad that this actually is an awesome mic. I really had a great experience testing it out the other day. So I'm glad it's coming through here. I know the other one, I was watching some of the, bits and pieces of the past lives. 95. Yeah, that makes sense because it would have come out before the ones, 2, and 64. So that makes sense. Where'd that comment go? This thing jumps. Also making a DIY arcade cabinet inspired 80s and 90s from wood and Raspberry Pi 2 and other electronics. Very cool project with custom RetroPie and shitload of games. Absolutely. That's awesome. So I've been going the arcade one up route, which I'm always very upfront about my, opinions of arcade one up. I don't think they're super high quality, but what's nice is if you're going to totally mod everything, you can kind of customize them and they're easy to work with. And for me being in a smaller space here and I don't want to take up a ton of room, I've actually gone towards arcade one up for that reason, just because, they're smaller scale. And that's what I always hated about them. I always hated that they were smaller. Now I just want to have more cabinets in here. So, you know, that smaller scale is actually becoming what is drawing me to them again. So it's weird kind of change of uh, events there. You need the hockey game and a bubble for your room. The you know what I loved playing as a kid was 2-on-2 open ice challenge, which is basically like the hockey equivalent of NBA Jam mixed with NFL Blitz. But I love that. And I actually just saw somebody that did a custom vinyl wrap of that for their arcade one up, and it looked really cool. So I was considering that. I've gone back and forth on what I want to, use as my wrap for a mod for literally like months now. So yeah, don't give me any more ideas. I'm indecisive enough as it is. Arcade Geek's better than Arcade One Up. I'll have to look into them. So I was thinking about for the light gun one, I really like the Terminator cabinet. And I like that it's a little bit taller as well. I was kind of going back and forth between that and the Time Crisis one, just as, something to kind of reference for it. But I'm a big Terminator fan. I wasn't huge on, I don't want to say I didn't like T2 Judgment Day, but it gets a little bit boring, I would say, like, as you go through it, or maybe it's just because 'cause I'm so used to it. I mean, I've been playing that since it came out, I feel like, or a little bit later than when it came out. Um, but I love Terminator, and I love, like, the graphics, but I wanna customize it. If I do end up keeping that, you know, that layout and that wrap on there, I wanna customize it quite a bit, and I obviously would have to do that anyways. I'm gonna be swapping out the guns and all that, so still considering all that stuff. PC giveaway should be pinned up at the top. Let me know if it's not though, because I'm on a new. For anybody that's just joining now, I'm on a new setup here, so I'm not actually on YouTube. I'm on StreamYard, so I'm kind of beaming in from there. So it's a very different layout on my end. I'm trying to get used to it, but so far I'm definitely liking it. Tracking the comments has been easier too, which is good. Does Botticer finally have support for TechnoPair? I don't believe that it does. I could be wrong. I'm not up to date on like the latest version, and they always throw updates out fairly often. So I don't know if anything has changed, but as far as I know, they're not. So Chris Coolmod's not using Botticera for his setup, and if you're just joining, he's working on or actually I think he just finished a light gun setup, which is going to be pretty insane. And I forget the capacity of that. I want to say it's 2 terabytes because there's not a ton of light gun games. Like in total, you wouldn't be able to fill like 96 terabytes with light gun games. But I think it's 2 terabytes. I could be wrong on that. So we've got 10 seconds left on the smartwatch, and then we have the next one's going to be in 25 minutes, and that's going to be the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. I'm going to give you guys a link to that right now, and let me know if the pinned comment should be up there at the top. Let's see, it's pinned in the video, not clickable. Oh, okay. Pinned in the video, but not clickable. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys the Anbernic one right now, but I'm gonna send you guys the um with this one right here. Hit enter like it owed me money. Sorry if that echoed through the mic. So here is the mini PC link right here coming at you guys next. And I'm not sure why that's not clickable. Probably because I'm on an external software. I live in Florida. My kids don't use light guns, just AR-15s and Bud Light targets. Gotcha. Loud and clear. Love my Botacera build, but it can get finicky. I had to wipe the thing because of boot issues. Wouldn't update anymore. Yeah, it can definitely be finicky. I think anything with emulation can be a little touchy sometimes. I've actually had better luck with Botacera. Are you using an SSD or a hard drive? I find that that makes a big difference. I've had such good luck with SSDs. Flash drives, SD cards, all that stuff is just really um, touchy. And even mechanical drives, your larger hard drives, definitely can be a little finicky too, but SSDs is where it's at. They're just obviously much more expensive. Do you think that emulation is missing the boat on motorcycle games like Hang On, etc.? I mean, it's a combination of things. I don't know if there's interest. I mean, when I think motorcycle games, they have the not that this is probably what you're necessarily referencing, but the Harley Davidson game for it would be Sega Model 3, I think. That's a pretty sweet game. That's just instantly what I went back to when I read motorcycle games. That was a lot of fun, but that's kind of like a crazy taxi style game, so it's very different than what you're probably talking about. But I love playing that game. Takes me back to sitting on the quarter of a motorcycle in the arcade back in the day. Bright orange. Actually, I saw one of those on Facebook Marketplace. I spend too much time on Facebook Marketplace just like combing through old arcade cabinets that I will never get and refinish or anything like that. But it's cool to see like what people have still that are just kicking around that they're trying to get rid of. Heck, and Steve's in the house. You're on my phone right here, and I was trying to glance over at your text message while doing this. Just got done watching your new video on Steve and loved it. Awesome. Glad to hear it. And for anybody that's in here looking for another channel to follow, Heck and Steve right there. Awesome guy. He's got amazing content. Check him out. Funny as hell. Anytime I see him in here, I got to plug him because he's a awesome YouTuber. Sorry, I just got home. And to answer your question about Botacera and Technoparrot, there is no Linux support for it. It's purely a Windows emulation program. That's what I thought. Yeah. Unless anything like crazy happened in the 2 weeks or so since I've really spent a lot of time in Botacera. Windows always seems to have with emulation. I think that Windows is usually, I won't say always, but usually a step ahead at least from Linux. But yeah, I like Botacera. I just like in all honesty, for me, it's the aesthetics of it more so than anything else. And it's easy to navigate. And of course, you have Retrobat that's very much similar to Botacera. And in fact, it has this, I think almost all of the themes are the same. In fact, I think there might be even more themes that are Retrobat specific, at least back when I was kind of playing around with both of them more so than I am these days. Hi, Retro Gaming Guy. I got the Paladin HA4 Mini Gaming PC, AMD Ryzen 7. Awesome. Have you checked it out yet? That's a pretty sweet setup. I love the HA4. That's one of my favorites, and I love the aesthetics of that too. Just talking about aesthetics, and I love the fact that it's got the rotating lights, and I like that it has the external buttons so you can kind of navigate through the different light settings too. Heck and Steve into wrestling too. No brainer. Subscribe. Yes, he's definitely into wrestling. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the guy who was interviewing Steve-O said his cousin was a gamer. I wonder how he felt about Steve-O's comments. Yeah, his comments were intense, right? So I just did a video earlier today for those that don't know what we're talking about. I just did a video that dropped at like, I want to say 7 o'clock. Just like one of those that I just happened to fall down the rabbit hole of Steve-O and gaming and the topic on YouTube. And then there's Reddit posts and threads and all types of stuff talking about it. And it's interesting because it's all coming up fairly recently. But the clip that I showed in my video that I just did was from, I want to say, like at least a year ago, maybe even longer ago. So I actually watched Steve-O's podcast quite a bit. I like all the guests that he has on. And yeah, he hates gaming. So it's interesting. So I'll give you guys the link again to the mini PC here. A few people were asking for that. So I do apologize if that link is not clickable there. I'm not sure why that is. I see it on my end, how it's like superimposed over the bottom of the screen there. But yeah, I don't know why it's not clickable. Jay Swiss, I love AEW. I have trouble with I like AEW a lot actually, and I remember when they first came out, I watched it like religiously. I watched it every single week, and then I fell off with it, and I don't really know why because I like it. I think it's a little bit too new school sometimes with like the high spots, and it's just like spot after spot after spot that has you on the edge of your seat, which is good, but it's different than how it used to be too. So I was actually at I think it was their second live show, televised live show. So and I've met a lot of the guys that are in AEW from back when they were on the indies and stuff. I used to go to the indies all the time. So yeah, I'm a big fan. But haven't been following wrestling as much lately. I stay up to date on like what's happening. I'll tune in tomorrow night, but yeah, I don't watch it like week by week as much as I used to. Chrono, yeah, yeah. So he's bashing gaming that isn't useful in any skill in life. Yeah, we're in a different time where now it actually is. I mean, not that it's not for everybody, but um, yeah, there's certainly a lot of people on YouTube making good money off of gaming, whether they're gaming or they're doing content like I'm doing here. Um, yeah, Steve looks like a gamer, I would guess. Yeah, he does look like a gamer. You're right. That Macho Man wrestling buddy is dope. I had one as a kid. Need to get me another one for my collection. Yeah, I just found this at Goodwill actually. Yeah, I have the Hogan one over there. And then I have a Sting upstairs. I got them for my son because they were actually in like mint condition. And I probably should have preserved them a little bit better, but yeah, they get beat up like it's 1998 over here. So I'll give you guys that link again. I know some people said that it is clickable, but we're going to do the winner, announce the winner for what was the first thing? The smartwatch, which I have right here. Let's see. WWE has been better since Vince got out of creative. That's what I've heard. I watched like the pay-per-views and stuff, but I don't watch Raw or SmackDown. Not closely anyways. I'll tune in here and there. So let me draw the winner for again the smartwatch here. And I keep forgetting I have to be careful with the mic over here. I feel like I'm very stuck today. Usually I'm like rolling around, but I don't want to make too much noise for you guys. So all right. So this smartwatch is awesome. I've never actually covered this on the channel because it's obviously not really gaming related, but I did a video on YouTube for reviewing it, and it's a pretty sweet watch. All right, so randomly draw winners, and I'm just gonna refresh this on my end. And I'm still navigating. I will be able to actually put like the winners listed on the screen on this software I'm using too. Don't ask me how to do that right now, but I'm working towards it. Little by little, we're going to get there. So let's see, just refreshing this. And the winner is for the smartwatch. Just says Keith here, but I have your email, Keith. So I can't say the last name. Actually, the last name is in the email, but you wrote down Keith. So I assume you don't want your last name thrown out here on YouTube, which I'm cool with. So Keith has won the smartwatch here. And if there's multiple Keiths, I guess you'll have to wait for the email for me to confirm that because I don't want to shout anybody's last name out. But you have a Gmail account if that helps, and you're in the United States. And yeah, that's all the information I can really give without, consent on the last name. So congrats to Keith. Smartwatch coming your way. Time to be a winner. Uh, that's right. All right. So the next giveaway is the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. Awesome handheld. I just did a video, I feel like a week and a half ago on that. So I'm going to give you guys another link. This has been available. And I'll actually say this. So starting next week, I'm going to do the giveaways just for everybody. Let me rephrase that. Next week, the giveaways will be just wide open for all of them. And what I might end up doing is just like spur of the moment, I grab something and we do a live giveaway um, right here that it wasn't previously announced. But I do want to open this up to everybody because believe it or not, we got a lot of people in Europe that follow the channel, a lot of people in Australia. Australia is a big demographic for me, which is interesting. But yeah, I want to just open everything up to everybody. And originally I was just going to do these for people in the United States, but it's been so much fun just seeing how many people come in from other areas. So I want to make it fun for everybody and all inclusive. There we go. We got some Australians here. Very nice. So yeah, there we go. To answer that question, open to everybody. And yeah, I was just going to do it for um, United States just to keep my costs low. But everybody's been so awesome here, and so supportive. I just want to do it for everybody. So yeah, so next week you won't have to just be here live to get like the links, but I probably will end up doing just throwing together some live surprises for you guys too. So let's see. I did not even know Atari made Dragon Ball Z series. Did they? I didn't know that either. That makes two of us. Bitch Fit Gamer, appreciate it. Melbourne for 8 months back in the late 90s. Oh, nice. Very nice. That's one of the few places I've been to a lot of places internationally, and Australia is one I've never been to, and I hope to get there one day. And I'll definitely have to make that happen. 3.5-inch screen is really for the RG 35 double X plus. Yeah. I actually it's funny because when you say 3.5 inches on a for a screen on a you can go a couple different ways with that. On a handheld like this, it doesn't seem like it would be very big, but in this smaller handheld, it actually doesn't feel like it's just 3.5 inches. It feels much larger. So um, make of that what you will. So I'm going to give you guys that link again for the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. 11 minutes or just under 12 minutes left on this one. And that one was open all week long. Be ready for the Retroid Pocket 4. Heard good things. Seems like an interesting option. There we go. Beers and arcade games night. I'm down. Let's do it. All right. So, and I'm going to give you guys the link again for the mini PC. And let me update that and see. Oh, wow. We've got a lot of entries for that. That's awesome. So this is for the mini PC. And this was the one that I just, put out here for um, all of you guys that are live with me tonight. So 266 right now. That's awesome. Definitely seeing significant growth in attendance here on these live streams. And while I have you guys here, what do you guys want to see more of or less of here on the channel? Because I'm always constantly trying to figure out like what do people want to see, what do they not want to see, and while I'm here live with you guys, I might as well just ask you: do you want more live streams? Because I know a lot of people have emailed me asking for more live streams, and typically I just do the Friday giveaways, which we're going to keep. RC from NYC, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Always super supportive. Means the world to me. Thank you so much. Definitely helps with the shipping costs and all that for these giveaways. So we'll put it to good use. Are you going to see the new Iron Claw movie about the Von Erichs? Yes, I have not seen it yet. I'm dying to. I just went to the movies the other day with my kids. We saw Migration, but that was in the next theater over. And yes, I'm dying to see that. I've heard good things. It's supposed to be, I saw today, I was reading an article. They said it was the most realistic wrestling movie. So that sounds like a good endorsement. I like the wrestler too with Mickey Rourke. Just felt like that was like a raw and gritty sort of depiction of, obviously very different than the Von Erich's film, I would imagine, but definitely like the vibe of that. Oh, they cut MJF out. 'Cause I know he was cast as, he wasn't one of was he one of the Von Erichs? He was the brother that they don't highlight much, or there was something about that I was reading. Yeah, I'm a big Mickey Rourke fan. Tim, thank you so much. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, I'm a big Mickey Rourke fan. It's unfortunate he's not doing as much these days, or like not as much well-known stuff. I feel like he was like the red box king for a little while, which is unfortunate. But he's, I don't know, he's like typecast in certain things, which, I mean, it's good and bad, I suppose. Unlimited support. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Few gameplay streams. Sweet. We can do that. And with this, I definitely can do that. And for those that are just jumping in here, I'm on different software today, so I'm not actually in YouTube. I'm kind of like beaming in from StreamYard today. So I am trying to improve on these live streams and get used to the technology, and you can see, trying to up the audio quality here, and I think the picture quality is better today too. And I haven't really changed anything with that, just placement of lighting and the camera. So trying to make improvements with that, but I feel like I'm not like totally whited out like I usually am. Oh, okay. MJF was Lance, the fake Von Erich brother. Gotcha. Mickey Rourke. Yes. For me, my favorite was the Pope of Greenwich Village. Him and Robert. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. It was him and Daryl Hannah and Eric Roberts. And then you had, what's his name? The mob boss. I'm blanking on his name right now. What do you think about building steam machines? I don't know. I really haven't explored that. It's a solid idea, though. What is your favorite PS2 game? Oh, favorite PS2 game. We've been talking a lot about wrestling, so I got my mind in wrestling right now. So probably, let me give you my favorite wrestling game for PS2. Here Comes the Pain, probably. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Although, yeah, that's probably the one for me. What else? I'm trying to think what I played last. The Path of Neo, Matrix game. Any Matrix fans in here? DeBrown, appreciate that. Thank you so much. How about a throwback to the early days of the channel? Let's see a Raspberry Pi 5 gaming setup. I got to do that. You're 100% right. I've been trying to track down the Raspberry Pi 5, but I believe it's getting easier to do that. I haven't actually looked for the last couple weeks. So holidays are over, so I will get that going again. I was actually talking to somebody about the capabilities of the Pi 5 earlier today, so we could definitely do that. And that would definitely be a throwback from back from the Retro Pi Guy days. Got the shirt on right here. Kevin Von Erich was on Jericho's podcast. He talked about it. Oh, all right. I'll have to check that out. I haven't watched or listened to Jericho's podcast in a while now, but always enjoyed his podcast. Have less time for podcasts these days, but I guess we'll give Steve-O a break for being so negative on gaming. Shut that one down for a couple weeks. Put him in timeout, and we'll give Jericho a go. All right, let's see. So retro games, play some old retro games. Got it. We can do that. Mickey Rourke was transgender in Animal Factory. I haven't seen that. I've seen the clips of that. So that actually answers questions I've always had. I've always wondering that. Is Eric Roberts in that one too? Because Eric Roberts is in something else with him that I've seen clips of. And I don't know if it's that or it's something else. Ernie, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And I always appreciate anybody that, you certainly don't have to donate here, but it certainly does help with, the shipping costs and all that. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. And even just being here, guys, it really is absolutely amazing that we're able to do this and that this has taken off so nicely here on the channel. I love doing these every Friday. So I'm going to give you guys the link over here to the Anbernic RG35XX Plus again. I don't want to pin that over the mini PC just because the mini PC is only available to you guys here in the live chat this week anyways. But next week, as I said before, we're going to open that up to everybody again. So I was trying to make it, a special sort of thing for those that show up here. So when I announce winners, the person's here, with us. I always like to see that, but I don't want to limit it to people either. So I'll just have to surprise you guys with some live giveaways. So we'll keep it fun though for those that come out here to the lives. Ebooker 48141. Thank you so much to help with shipping. Happy holidays to all. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the generosity there. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you so much. WWF No Mercy Friend 64, still my favorite. Definitely one of the best wrestling games. Urban Reign is very underrated. Urban Reign. Did I jump into that the other day? I think I did. I've been testing out a lot of these pre-built gaming setups. And actually, I'm going to show you guys, I have a pile literally up to my knee right next to me. So once we do this next giveaway, I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that I'm doing videos on soon, doing like review videos. And it's actually going to be literally all of this stuff is going to be a future giveaway here on the channel. So to clear up, again, I said this before, but to clear up the confusion, there were some people that thought that Kevin Haney, thank you so much. Happy New Year. There are some people that thought that I was just doing these giveaways for the month of December. No, I'm doing these giveaways every Friday for the foreseeable future. And based on what I have right next to me here, I don't see an end in sight because so many people, or so many companies rather, have been taking notice of the giveaways that I'm doing here. And now they want to send stuff for me to give away to you guys. So I think that's awesome. The more stuff that comes in, the more I can send your way. I'm not a greedy person. I don't need to stack it up here. There's only so much I can get into myself. I'll do video content on it, and then I will put it up here for you guys to, win free right here on the channel every Friday. So really excited about that. So keep watching the live stream on Friday nights because these companies are definitely taking notice, and I'm getting more and more stuff in here that I can share with you guys. So it's a great way to obviously cover all these amazing things that are hitting the market for us gamers, but being able to share it is absolutely amazing. So love the crudeness of Conker's Bad Fur Day on N64. Yes, that's an awesome game. Rick Dangerous game. Yes, I was just testing that out actually the other day. What was I in? It might have been on. I jumped into the Chris Coolmod's 96 terabyte setup the other day before I gave it away on the channel, just to kind of bid it farewell and give it a go. But that's on there. Amiga 500. Yes. Is there a good racing game build? I'm building a racing rig. I bet you Chris Coolmod would put one together. I'll have to mention that. And there's a lot of racing stuff on Technoparrot. I've tested out Technoparrot on Chris Coolmod stuff, but I've never like set it up from scratch or anything like that. But there's 96 terabytes. Last week I gave away a 96 terabyte setup. So Chris Coolmod is I guess he's a YouTuber. He has a YouTube channel, but that's like not his main thing, I guess you would say. He puts together retro game builds, and he's got a 96 terabyte setup. It's absolutely insane. I mean, it's a lot, I'll be honest with you. And people are asking me all last week, why was I parting with it? Did I not like it? No, I absolutely loved it. But I'm somebody that doesn't have a ton of time to dive into gaming. I'll play here and there. And I usually try to now, I mean, I've played a lot growing up, but I try to dive into stuff that I can have a casual experience with because I don't have, hours and hours. I don't want to make Steve-O upset with me. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, Steve-O made some comments and I just made a video about it earlier today. But yeah, I don't have like hours and hours to dive into stuff. So 96 terabytes. I mean, I don't even remember how many games were on that, but thousands upon thousands of games, everything from like early Atari all the way through all the arcades, eras of arcade gaming, all the way through. I think he had PS5 games on there. So just absolutely insane. For all the wrestling fans, it's all wrestling games. Oh, a setup that's wrestling specific, you mean? That'd be pretty cool. There's a lot of wrestling games. I did a video, I want to say when I first started YouTube, that was like just wrestling games, like over the years and stuff. So I'd play like, 30 seconds of like each game. And I think I did it on the Raspberry Pi. So it was only, like NES all the way through N64, Dreamcast maybe. But yeah, there's tons and tons of games. And do you watch Review Tech USA? I talked about I was on Heck and Steve's channel not too long ago. We talked briefly about Review Tech USA, and then like a week later, he did a video kind of like roasting Review Tech USA. So I do watch, but I don't watch too often. I don't want to say not a fan, but I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't know. It gets too negative after a while. I feel like he's upset with everybody over everything, and I like the old days when he reviewed tech, and now it's like I don't know. It's just a different vibe. So yeah, I watch off and on, keep up with them and stuff. Wrestling challenge, WWF Wrestling Challenge in arcades, yes, and WrestleFest and all that stuff. And for me, I remember playing the what was it? WWF Royal Rumble like '99. It was the version that eventually went to Dreamcast. 96 terabyte HDD. Every game ever made on the planet. Yes, yeah, pretty much. I mean, up to recent times, anyways. Yeah. Right. I'm good. I'm good. Happy New Year. Star Fox for N64 is good. Yeah, I demoed that game not too long ago in one of my review videos for a mini PC. Awesome game. Can you review a Technopara image build? I saw one one on YouTube the other day. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I was just talking about this a little while ago. I've been into Technopara, I've tested it out, but I've never done like anything Technopara specific. I've never set anything up on Technopara like from scratch myself. So I would love to do that. I will have to make note of that. You like Metal Gear Solid? I do. I'm not like the most patient gamer, so that one's tough for me. I remember the first one when that first one came out, and it was frustrating for me because I'm just like so impatient, especially the younger version of myself. Forget about it. Simpsons Wrestling, WWF Raw on Xbox was good. Yeah. Raw 2, not so much. I've been playing, hey, Alfredo. I've been playing Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 1 and 2 on Switch. I was just playing that the other day. I've got that on my Steam account. I actually just added it on Steam to, hey, we're at 300. Thank you guys so much for that. Yeah, I was just playing that the other day on Steam. There was like a deal for get the two games for like the price of one, and I got it. Even though I have it for my Botacera setup, but I just wanted like the convenience of being able to dive into it for when I do the review videos on mini PCs. I always jump into Steam now, as long as the PC is powerful enough to do that. And I wanted to test that game out. Not that I was actually, as soon as I got it, I was like, should I even be testing this out? Because it's really gory. And I try to do like, appropriate games with the editing, not the edit, the testing videos that I do. But whatever, it's animated violence. It's not that bad. But yeah, I love those games. It's like I always tell people it's like the Mafia version of Metal Slug, which I always loved Metal Slug growing up. Perfect Dark is a good one. Yes. So you can actually do that now with emulation, and you can kick up the graphics considerably to make it actually really crisp. I forget that full name of the emulator that I use, but it ends in Rice, RICE, and you can get like I play NFL Blitz that way too, and it makes NFL Blitz look better than it does right here on the arcade one up. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. So you can actually make it look better than GoldenEye if you do that. Are games for original Xbox considered retro? Yeah, absolutely. It's like classic rock now is like all the way through 90s stuff and into early 2000s. Like classic rock is like Green Day now. It's crazy. Yeah, I consider that to be. And actually, that reminds me, I have an original Xbox console that I'm going to give away soon too here on the channel. So that's a future giveaway. But what do we have left on? All right, so the Anbernic RG35 Double X Plus is all done. So we're going to grab grab the winner from that. But let me give you guys the link again. I know it's tagged here, but I know some people can't click it or whatever's going on there. I got to look into that. But here is the link to that mini PC that we're giving away here. So here is, all right. So I'm going to give the name of the winner for the Anbernic RG35 XX Plus handheld here. And then I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that I'll be reviewing here on the channel. And all that stuff is going to be a future giveaway here on the channel as well. So what I want to do is I want to actually let you guys know, and I've done this now in the past, but I haven't like committed to doing a live like every Sunday. This Sunday obviously is New Year's Eve, so I'm not going to do a live this Sunday. I'm going to do a live this coming Monday, and I'm going to just jump on here and announce what the giveaways are for Friday, next Friday. So we're going to do that like every week, and I think we'll do it after this week. It'll be every Sunday night, 8 p.m. I'll just jump on here and let you guys know what is up for grabs. 5 days later on Friday. We'll do that week by week. All right, so did I announce the winner of this? Let me refresh this. Sorry, multitasking, not my strong suit. All right, so we're going to get the winner for the Anbernic RG35XX, and it is Michael Massey. And I will copy and paste the name into the chat. So congratulations, Michael. Awesome. Handheld here. And rest assured, everybody else that didn't win this, because only Michael won this one today, I have another one right here that I'm going to be doing a giveaway on as well. So congrats to Michael for the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. Really is a great handheld. Love the screen resolution. The sound quality is on point too, and you can get into a ton of games on here. And the stock card on here is actually very good as well. Used to be that the stock cards, like you wanted to just throw them out as soon as you got the handhelds, you want to put together your own stuff. And you can obviously upgrade and improve your experience by upgrading everything, but the stock cards that come on these handhelds now are light years better than they used to be. So let me see. So I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I'm going to be doing giveaways with. All right, so here we have, let me just switch over here. So ACEPC makes some amazing controllers, and I actually have, I think pretty much everything that I use here is an ACEPC. I think I have like one other, APIDO as well is a great option, but I'm not going to open this because it's sealed, but I'm going to do a review video on this, and then I'm going to give that away. So that'll be a future giveaway. What do we have here? This is a power bank. We're going to do a power bank giveaway in the near future as well. That's not going to be on the YouTube channel, but I do have that, so I want to give it away. So I just got this, and this comes from Mech DIY. They actually sell the Anbernic RG35XX Plus and the regular Anbernic RG35XX, but they sent me this handheld right here. So I'm going to review this because I actually don't know much about this. This is the hopefully I'm saying this right. The Trim, I don't even know where to begin with that. Trimui Smart Pro, and this is the TG5040 handheld game console right here. Let me see if this is sealed. If it's not sealed, I'll open it up with you guys because I want to do a unboxing and review video with this. But I've heard good things about this, but I'm not super familiar. So let me see if we can do this. I don't want to get too far into the unboxing process without filming it the proper way, but it seems to be a pretty solid option here. We're full on unboxing it, whatever. Laid out just like a PSP would be. Got the shoulder and trigger buttons up here. Pretty solid option here. So I don't know what the performance is like. I'm not going to dive that far into this, but this will be a video that I jump into very soon. And then this is going to be something that I give away as well. Joysticks light up with LEDs. For this or for the handheld there? Oh, for this. There it is right there on the picture. That one lights up too, though. It looks like just feeling the analog sticks, they look pretty on point there. So that will be a future video that I review. It's supposed to be really cheap. Yeah, I don't even know what the price point is. I don't have it in front of me right now, but if it's crap, we're going to let everybody know that it's crap. So it is what it is there. That's the thing with the review videos. You never know how things are going to go. So I don't deal with anybody that sends me stuff. Excuse me. Oh, losing my voice today. I don't deal with any of the companies that like send scripts and stuff because believe it or not, there's a lot that do. But yeah, so a company not that long ago sent me a script. It was a 6-page script that they wanted me to follow for a review video, and I ripped it up and I sent it back to them. So yeah, I don't do any of that stuff. So this is the Anbernic RG35XX, the regular one right here. I'm going to do a comparison video. So I just picked this up for that purpose. I wanted to compare that side by side to the Plus. Here is the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. So we just gave this away. I have that one right here, but I have another one. So this will be another giveaway coming up very soon. Let's just drop these down here so I don't drop them off my desk. Right. So this is a Android TV and game box that I just picked up. I actually saw, I think was it on Facebook? I saw a ad for this and I was like, you know what, let's try it out because so many people are always looking for like budget friendly options. And you know, you can actually get like TV through this if you wanted to as well. So we're going to test that out. 6-page script for a review. Yeah. Yeah. Very excessive. So stuff like that doesn't happen over here. I've got some game drives here. So these are, let's see, and these are different, but they say like the same stuff on them. These are available on Amazon. So I've been testing out a lot of those game builds or game drive setups, and I know that you know, some people like that stuff, some people don't. What camera are you using? So I'm using an OBSBot. What is this? Tiny 2 4K webcam. Yeah. So what's nice is, yeah, you probably notice as I move around, it tracks me. There's 2 different modes. There's just like the straightforward mode that just, you know, your frame stays the same. And then I put it on, it actually backs up away from me. It's actually really close, but it looks like it's further away. I can reach out and grab it. It's that close. But yeah, it tracks my face unless I tell it not to. And you could just like make hand gestures at it. And you know, it'll change modes on you. So it's really a sweet setup. I've actually done a review video on that too. Yeah, so Rizzo529, thank you so much. Recent viewer, installed Botacera on my backup PC, watching your content, getting back into some retro gaming stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad that you know worked out for you. Botacera is my favorite way to enjoy retro games, so I think you're in good hands with Botacera. So we got some more stuff here. This is a big one. All right, so Max Free. Max Free makes some amazing monitors, and this one right here just grabbed my attention. I had to get it. So this is a monitor that has a built-in keyboard. So if you're a gamer, this would be huge, and I assume you are if you're here on the channel. But for me, what really drew me to this was I'm constantly editing videos. I spend more of my time editing videos than anything else. So this is something that I wanted to have, just like multiple setups. I use multiple monitors when I edit videos. And this just looked like a cool product. So I got it and I'm going to review it, see what it's all about. Hopefully it's a good experience, but it'll be a future giveaway right here on the channel as well. The plug and play reviews are very helpful. Glad to hear that. I think so because, you know, they advertise, a lot of them actually advertise, and I have one coming out tomorrow. I don't know what time I'm going to release it, but some point tomorrow. It's a 5 terabyte hard drive. It's available right now on Amazon. But yeah, they don't advertise. They don't always advertise honestly. So was the script in English? It was in bad English. Yes. Yeah. Not, it was, you would have to paraphrase like the whole thing. But yeah. So yeah, the 5 terabyte setup. What's tough with those is that they really, my name is Steve-O. You guys saw. Got it, Steve-O. Yeah. So the 5 terabyte setups, any of those, you know, plug and play game drives, their advertising is usually very misleading. Even if it's a good experience, they always hype up the, you know, total games that they offer, and it's just not easy to navigate. And if you're somebody that's going to, in this case, this is 5 terabytes, so it's expensive, and I would expect it to be. A 5 terabyte drive is expensive no matter what type you get, whether you get a mechanical or an SSD. SSD would obviously be much more, but still it's going to be expensive either way. It's a lot for somebody to roll the dice on something like that without knowing what it offers. And I get why they don't highlight exactly what it offers, but yeah, it's tough to know exactly what you're getting. And you may roll the dice on something that costs, you know, maybe $200. Yes, I am. I'm not really I'm congested. And, the more I talk, the more it gets worse. But yeah, losing my voice a little bit, but I'm hanging in there. So yeah, um, the more that you have to shell out without knowing exactly what you're getting, it just creates a crappy experience. So I try to review that stuff so people don't go through, a shitty experience in the end. And that's I was trying to read that and it was kept just jumping away from me as I scrolled up with my mouse. Um, yeah, Steve-O has some pearly they're not dentures though, right? They're caps. I don't know how that works. Hope you feel better. Thank you. Luckily, I actually feel really good. It's just the congestion. Life with 3 kids, they're always getting you sick and sharing everything with I feel like every week we get something new and then it goes away and it comes right back soon after. So this right here has not much branding on it, but I had this for a while. This is a cooling kit for a PS5. So I'm going to give this away on the channel soon. My stepson has the PS5 up in his room. So this has literally just been sitting here for, I feel like I've had this for a couple months. And I wanted to test it out a while ago and just never went up there and grabbed the PS5 to bring it down here to do the video. So I'm going to finally do that. And then I'll give it away to you guys. So far we've got probably, I don't know, 10 things, 12 things that I just showed you guys. That'll be future videos and reviews. We'll come in for those and then I'll give all that stuff away. So, and then this Monday night, I'll jump on here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll let you guys know exactly what I'm giving away next Friday. So that will be in January by then. So we've got mini PCs coming too. This right here, and I actually kind of started to unbox this and then decided I didn't want to film the video yet, but this is the ACEMagic Mighty Mini PC. So that'll be pretty cool. No, you didn't miss the mini PC giveaway yet. That's coming up. I'll give you guys the link to that though. So we got 12 minutes left on that, and I'll announce the winners. And then I'll hang back with you guys. I'll answer some questions, and after I do the giveaways, I always hang around for, I think last week I stuck around for like an hour and a half. Just kind of shooting the shit and answering questions and all that good stuff. Can I use the external SSD on the same computer that I download Batocera? Yeah, absolutely. So, well, you mean like one of the like a game drive, one of those? So those you would go into Windows. So usually people that have Batocera, since Batocera is Linux, you would have that on like a separate SSD, and then you just change your boot order to jump into Batocera, and then you would have Windows for like regular PC usage. And one of those game drives, they typically are either Launchbox, Retrobat, or Playnite. In fact, the one that I'm reviewing tomorrow here on the channel is all 3. So it's really interesting setup, 5 terabytes, all 3 in one. And you could just literally like double click from the, once you open up the files for the game drive, you could double click and enter whichever portion you want to jump into. But yeah, different setups, kind of operate differently. Sharing is caring. Yes, sir. Yeah, I got to figure out how. So I'm on a different, for anybody that's just joining, I know I've said this multiple times if you've been here the full, well, over an hour now. I'm on different software today. So I'm not actually on YouTube. I'm kind of beaming into YouTube from StreamYard. So I can write down somewhere in here. I can actually, let me see if I can figure this out. I can tell you guys the names of the winners here and post it on screen, but I don't know how to do that yet. So let's see. Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that, because that would be cool if I could just write it like right next to me here and have the winners listed. I'll have to figure that out for next week. But yeah, I'll get the winners' names for you. And excuse me, we have 10 minutes left on the mini PC here. So I'll give you guys the link to that again. I know it's pinned, but some people said that they can't actually click on it. So I got to figure that out too. Can you review the Retro Shooters Pandora light guns on a mini PC? Yes, I have those coming to me. So I will be doing a video on that very soon. As soon as they arrive, I will film that and put it out on the channel. All right, so let me get the winners' names. And the last winner, I just had the first name because they didn't want me to announce the That was for the smartwatch. So Keith won the smartwatch, but I can't say his last name because he didn't list that as like his name on there. I just know his last name from the email address, but usually people do that if they don't want their name, announced on YouTube, their full name anyway. So I can only say that Keith won the smartwatch. And if your name is Keith, then look for an email from me later. And Michael Massey won the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. And then we still have to figure out who wins the mini PC, which I have right here. And this is the ACEPC PowerBox Pro. Is it possible to plug and play a drive that's formatted for Linux on an Android device? I don't think I've ever done that myself, but it might be. To the Scorpion C. I think that's how you would say that. I'm not actually familiar with it. I've actually heard a little bit about it, but I haven't absorbed all the information enough to really, have a sound opinion on it. But it sounds interesting from what I've heard. So I'll have to look into that a bit more. It's always like new rumblings that I hear about new things. So trying to navigate everything and dive into it all and taking all the information has been a challenge for me. But um, actually, a few people told me about new mini PC companies last week, and I looked them up throughout the week, and I actually have one of them coming for the channel soon. So, all right. So I do apologize if I sound raspy on here. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, but we're going to get through this. Let's see. All right. So we've got 8 minutes left on the mini PC. And again, it's this one, the ACEPC PowerBox Pro mini PC. Phenomenal experience on here. You can jump into all your retro stuff. I tested it out on Botacera, but you can use, RetroBat, you can use Launchbox, you can use pretty much whatever you want on here. I even jumped into Steam through Windows 11 Pro, and I had a great experience over there as well. The only thing I had a negative sort of experience with was PS3 emulation. Just wasn't up to par with PS3 emulation for some reason. And you could probably better the experience through the settings a little bit more so than I did in the video, but I try to jump into everything with stock settings and not, make too many adjustments, because that's one thing I'm critical of other YouTubers with. A lot of times they'll do these review videos and they'll tweak all these settings, make everything seem like it's, this is the stock sort of experience. And then you find out when you get something that you're not able to have that same exact experience unless you adjust all these settings. And most people don't know how to do all that. So it kind of creates a misleading experience, in my opinion. So I try to jump into everything stock on my review videos just to make it straightforward and, easy to absorb for everybody. So you know exactly what you'd be getting into, as soon as you power something on. Let's see. So still kicking myself for missing the giveaway last week. Really wanted a 96 terabyte drive. Well, we might do we'll be doing another giveaway, I think, with Chris Coolmod in the future, because I'm going to be doing some stuff with him. He's got a light gun build that I'm going to review here on the channel. So usually everything that I review ends up going back to you guys with the giveaway. So I think you can, at least rest assured that you get another stab at something from Chris Coolmod in the future here. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but definitely stay tuned. Let's see. You missed my thank you text earlier, and I added my last name to display. It's okay to mention my last name. Thanks again for the watch. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got your email right here. So, yes, there is our Keith right there who won the smartwatch. Congratulations. And sorry, you got your last name right here. Yeah. So some people don't provide it just because they don't want it announced online. So I try to be, sensitive to that. Not that anybody's really going to do anything with your last name on YouTube, but some people are really concerned about that stuff. So I try to, not step on anybody's toes. But congratulations. I will get that out to you. What's today? Friday. I don't know if I'll have it out by tomorrow morning. I'll try, but very soon. Is the Jagger painting a giveaway prize too? Nope, that one's gonna stay here. So that one's painted by David Garibaldi, who I actually think he has a YouTube channel too. But he does amazing work, and I'm a big fan of the stuff that he does. And he always does like music icons and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that one. Let's see. Sorry, this thing always kind of jumps with me. I was actually hoping that the comments would be a little bit smoother. They are smoother over here than on YouTube. But yeah, when everybody comments at once, it kind of throws everything off. I'm like midway through a sentence, I have to scroll through and find it again. So if you see me like struggling, that's generally what I'm doing. You're an hour late, but that's okay. So the mini PC is 4 minutes away from being, the me announcing the winner of it. So here is the link to that. So you're not late. Not for that one, anyways. You missed the first giveaways, but best is always the last one. I'd like to build a Botacera build, but I have a hard time with finding the BIOS part. So go to archive.org. Just simply go over to archive.org and type in Botacera, then like whatever version you're setting up. So if you're on Botacera 38 BIOS, it'll pop right up. Is Chris Coolmod the same person as Chris Shaw? I'm not sure. Chris Coolmod's like legal last name. But Chris Coolmod spells it with a K, Kris. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same person. Sounds great, Retro. Thanks, bud. Right. I'm new, but learned a lot from your videos. Planning to set up my Optiplex as emulator. Nice. Optiplex is definitely a great option. There's a lot of different versions, so check the specs on what you decide to go with if you are out looking specifically for an Optiplex. But they do make for great emulation powerhouses as long as you have one of those solid versions. I'm watching the Buckeye game. Who's won so far? Can't listen to the stream right now. No problem. So Keith, who was just in the comments, Keith won the smartwatch, and who won the Michael Massey won the Anbernic RG35 XX Plus. So those are our two winners so far, and we have the mini PC in 2 minutes. Oh, interesting. Yeah, David Garibaldi sounds like a familiar name. So, somewhat familiar with Tower Power. They actually play. There's a about 20 minutes away. There's a old school rock club, and they're one of the bands that I always remember seeing on like the marquee and stuff. They've played there quite a bit. Does StreamYard work with Twitch? I'm not sure. I feel like it does. Yeah, it does work with Instagram, Facebook, and obviously YouTube and X, but I'm not sure about Twitch. Can I set up a hard drive to run Botacera and CoinOps? Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Juice right there said partition the hard drive if you want to run both. There are 3 Chris's with massive arcade drive services. God bless you, sir, for giving away stuff. Well, I don't need all this stuff, at the end of the day. So I appreciate that everybody, thinks the world of me for doing this. But for me, it's like, just makes sense, I don't need to have all this stuff just sitting here, I only have 2 hands. Only so much I can play at one time. So do you have a video for making an arcade cabinet? I have one for modding an arcade one-up. And I did make like a bar top one that I wall mounted. So I don't know if I made video content on that though. It would have been the old days though, so it would be Retro Pie Guy. So when I first started my channel, I think for like the first year it was Retro Pie Guy, because I didn't know, like, everything I was doing was Retro Pie based. So that's pretty much all that I did back then. And then I realized pretty soon after that I wanted to do more than just RetroPie. And thank God I did that, because RetroPie nowadays is not really as popular as like some of the other options out there. So, favorite fighting franchise? Uh, Tekken, probably, just because I grew up on Tekken. And, Tekken's still relevant today. But yeah, I was always like Tekken over Street Fighter. What else? Virtua Fighter. I was always like a Sega guy. So, Virtua Fighter was good too. But do you have a gram or TikTok? Yeah. So I actually think I have both, but neither are on my phone. So I'm really not active on anything other than YouTube. But yeah, you can find me on both. I just, don't post a lot of content on either of those. Yeah, about there's like a learning curve on there, but I feel like once you finally get it down, you're good to go. Had both PS2 and Dreamcast back in the day. My grandma got Dreamcast for $60 at the time. Yeah, I had both too, and what I liked about Dreamcast was you had like the arcade versions of, or not the arcade versions, but you had games that were put out to the arcade, and then they always seemed to be pretty much lined up well with their Dreamcast version for like. So for me, I was a huge Gauntlet Legends fan, still am, and hopefully I'm going to change that cabinet back there, or I'll get another one to change it to a Gauntlet Legends arcade cabinet. But so that game was released to PS1, Dreamcast, as well as what was it? PS1, Dreamcast, and PlayStation. And or excuse me, Dreamcast, PlayStation, and N64. And the Dreamcast version was like almost identical to the arcade version. So that's really what made me go towards Dreamcast. And then like the same could be said for like Hydro Thunder and a bunch of other options out there. They just had great graphics compared to N64 and PlayStation. If you looked at Gauntlet Legends like side by side, the three different versions, you would have like PlayStation almost looks like a Game Boy Color game. It's just such terrible graphics. They're really, just really crappy. And then N64 was pretty pixelated, but much better than PlayStation. And then Dreamcast was just like, again, just night and day difference. So that's always what made me kind of gravitate towards Dreamcast. And I also like the controller too. I just found it to be a very comfortable controller. Never was a fan of the N64 controller. I know people love it or hate it. And I definitely just wasn't a big fan. So yeah, Technoparrot's only available for Windows currently. So yeah, it kind of sucks. But yeah, if they can include that, I mean, I think Botacera would just be a million times better. But it's not really on Botacera. It's not their fault that it's limited. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is definitely, for Charles there, definitely more prominent than Tekken. But yeah, I mean, I played both in the arcade, but I feel like Tekken and Tekken Tag was like what I gravitated towards more so than Mortal Kombat, at least in the late 90s, anyways. Oh, excuse me, running dry here. I have an arcade based on Virtual Striker, modified with 6 buttons for player, 27-inch LED monitor, Marvel versus Capcom skin. That's awesome. I love those old school Sega games. I think that their graphics were just so much ahead of their time. So the mini PC giveaway has officially ended. So we're going to grab the winner for that. And then if you guys have better places to be on your Friday night, I totally get it. I'm going to hang out for a little while, chat with everybody. So let's draw our winner. Let me refresh the screen. All right. So let me just jump back in there. Oh, there it is. I have two windows open. I was like, where did it just go? Here we go. Okay, so the winner of the ACEPC PowerBox Pro Mini PC, which I have right here, is Hubert Lamb. So that is going to Hubert. And I will copy and paste your name in here. And next week, I'm going to figure out how to actually put all of these up on the screen so it stays with you. So, everybody knows exactly who won. So congratulations. Awesome. And he's in here. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. So I will be emailing all three winners tonight. And this is so we had three different giveaways tonight. And this is kind of like the low point, I feel like, for giveaways, because I think I've always done more than three in the past, but just kind of recovering from the holidays. And I figured we'll keep it simple this week, but I'll have even more next week. And I will let you guys know all of the items that'll be up for grabs this Monday night. I was going to say this Sunday, but Sunday is New Year's Eve. So yeah, in the future I'll be doing the live announcements and everything on Sunday nights, but this week we're going to just kick it back a day to Monday night. I identified you. That's a good one, Jay. So, Nicholas, thank you so much for the kind words. Appreciate that. Yeah, lots of good stuff coming. So I didn't even get all the way through the list of future giveaways here and stuff I'll be reviewing. So definitely a lot of cool stuff coming. Appreciate that. I'm DeBrown. Really appreciate that. Thank you for the entertainment, Jaden. Appreciate that. This is my Optiplex. Oh yeah, the i5 is good. 16 gigabyte RAM, 2 terabyte HDD, Windows 10 Pro. Oh, yeah, the 7050. I think I gotta look back and see if that's one that I did a video on. I've done videos on a couple different Optiplexes. So if you type in like RetroPie Guy, Dell Optiplex, or even try RetroPie Guy, because it could have been before I switched the name of the channel. But you'll see my Optiplex videos if you haven't seen them already. So there's definitely some great options out there. Jay, I love Dreamcast as well. Probably my favorite console. Yeah, I definitely think it's my favorite just because, in all honesty, I think it's just like the memories I have playing that and playing, even if I didn't play the games on there, but there's games for that were available at the arcade. Definitely, that makes a big difference for me. So for me, I think it's that. And then I like the GameCube a lot too, and original Xbox. And now I really have a appreciation for PS2 now because PS2 was definitely killing it for a long period of time. So God of War on the handheld was great. Even Outrun 2006. Outrun 2006 is definitely pretty sweet. I was always a Sega guy, hurt buying a PlayStation. Yeah, I agree with you. It's too bad because yeah, I feel like Sega was always ahead of the time with like graphics and everything too. So it's unfortunate that things kind of went that way. PS2 had the best RPG and horror. Yeah, for sure. I mean, PS2 had, I feel like everything, except for like Halo and, stuff that was very specific to, certain brands. But yeah, PS2 was definitely an amazing console. And I don't think I really appreciated that as much back then as I do now. Diving into emulation and like, I'll find titles that I thought were just on like Xbox, for example, and then turns out they were on PS2, and I'm finding that out, 25 years later or 20 years later. Did I see somebody write something about Joey? Joey from DK Oldies is a genuine nice guy, or putting on a face to scam people to buy from DK Oldies. Ooh, I like that question. I go back and forth honestly with that because I haven't talked about DK Oldies in a while. Throw a little zinger at them every now and then in a live stream, but on one hand, I want to say that like he's just the YouTube face for the company, and I know that there's the two narratives, right? There's the narrative of like he's just like the happy-go-lucky guy that is just happy to do the video content and knows nothing about games because I don't think he really does know much about games or gaming at all. He just says what he's told to say, but he holds responsibility for lying to people, and I think that's the reality at the end of the day. So I think he probably is a good guy. I think he probably intends to not do anything bad, but he is, a major part of it because he's the person that's actually delivering, misinformation or covering up lies for somebody else, who is Drew, obviously the owner of the company. So, uh, I don't know. I guess it's a combination of the two, you know. What do you think? My 6-year-old twins love Looney Tunes Space Race on Dreamcast. That's a really good game. I've actually played that with my stepson. That's a really good game. So they have good taste. Sega would have been nothing without North and South America. I agree with you there. I got the itch to buy another mini PC. My last with the Ryzen 5 350 3550H. Uh, excuse me. Let's see. That's a good question. Give me a second. Let me look that up for you. Just going on my Amazon because I actually buy all my mini PCs from my Amazon account, so I can look at everything just by typing into my orders mini PC. See, so I really like the Paladin Ha4. B-Link makes some amazing stuff. So, like, do you have a budget you're trying to stay within? Because then I could give you options based on that. So my favorite mini PC in general is the B-Link Sur 6 Max, at least as of right now, anyways. And that's got probably the fastest speeds. You're at 4.75 gigahertz on there. There's multiple versions in terms of RAM options, but the one that I had was the 16 gigabyte, and it was great. Played PS3 perfectly. I mean, it might be, I don't want to say it's overkill because obviously PS3 is really demanding, but some of my favorite sports games were on PS2. Yeah, they definitely had a ton of sports games. I feel like PS2 definitely had the most sports games, in fact. GameCube was pretty limited. Xbox was pretty good, but yeah, PS2 was pretty much less than $700. Yeah, so if you're looking to spend less than 700, let me look what the B-Link Sur 6 Max is. That's at 529 right now, and that plays literally everything. So I was gonna say it might be a little overkill for you, but PS3 is demanding, so it handles that nicely. Here's a link for it. You can just click over, and that's the exact version that I have. Um, and I had a great experience with it. I mean, I have my a full video. If you just type in retro gaming guy Sur 6 Max, that video will pop right up. But I jumped into Steam with it, played AAA titles, and it was really good over there as well. So mini PC went to, and I have it right here. So Hubert Lamb for the mini PC. Sly Cooper series and Jack and Daxter. Yeah, those are really great games. I was just playing Sly Cooper on PS3 actually not too long ago. So I haven't tested out the Sur 7. I actually ordered it and then they said it was going to be a while there. I guess they got back ordered around it was after Black Friday. They did like some insane Black Friday deals and kind of like bundled it with Cyber Monday and I think they sold more than they intended to. So I've been waiting on a Sur 7, but I'm going to test that out. I would imagine the Sur 7 is comparable, if not better, but it is considerably more expensive, I think, anyways. I'll look that up right now for you. Sur 7 B-Link, and let's see. Yeah, 769. So I mean, you're over $250 more, or about $250 more. So, I mean, for $250 more, it better have a lot more capabilities. And I mean, how much more do you need if you can get into AAA titles and you're hoping to? I mean, for him, he's looking to get into PS3 and PS2. So, obviously, I haven't tested it out yet, but I couldn't blindly recommend a Sur 7 if, the capabilities he's looking for, he could get that and so much more for 529. So, but yeah, I would imagine the Sur 7 to be, improved upon the previous versions. Want to replay the series on PS3, but don't have a legit PS3 controller. Yeah, I agree. Definitely, yeah, you could definitely go big screen is always going to be the better experience there. PS4 and PS5 are perfect for live streaming. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played anything. I mean, I've played live gaming, but I've never recorded live. Everything I've done up until, doing these giveaways has been pre-recorded here on the channel. But eventually going to do that too. Little by little, I'm branching out. Drive Club on PS4 still can't touch the weather effects and driving experience. I've heard good things. I've actually never played that. never played that, but I've actually watched videos of it because it is always ranked like one of the best experiences. Is there any cheap Batocera device that has ColecoVision? Batocera probably, but actually I have a video that'll be coming out tomorrow. I'll probably put it out like tomorrow afternoon, maybe tomorrow night. I have to see, based on how much editing I get done tonight. But it's got a pretty stacked ColecoVision collection, and it's a 5 terabyte game drive available on Amazon, and it has RetroBat, LaunchBox, and Play Night all in one. So it's a pretty sweet setup. It's a long video though because it's a 3-in-1 setup with 5 terabytes. So I want to say it's like a 45-minute video, but you can obviously jump to the portion that you want to see if you don't want to hang for the whole video. But yeah, it's a pretty sweet setup. Definitely has, the biggest struggle with stuff like that is that these companies that put this stuff together, and yes, Jay's correct, it will run on anything. So you don't need like something super demanding or super capable of high end emulation to run that collection. But yeah, it definitely has duplicates and stuff, but the older stuff is pretty well put together. And I can understand duplicates. We can always go in and customize ourselves and obviously remove all the duplicates and stuff, but we have to just know that going in that, hey, if they're advertising 60,000 games, there's a bunch of duplicates, maybe closer to like 40,000 games. But it's still frustrating that all these sort of untidy setups do exist out there. Are you more than a retro game guy or an online stream gaming guy? Yeah, I mean, I play a little bit of everything. Retro game. I mean, I like retro stuff because I just have a more of a strong connection to the stuff that I grew up playing. I played a lot more back then. I have 3 kids now, so now it's like I'll always go for like the more casual experience. So I like fighting games because you could go in, just jump into a couple fights, or I'll play Fortnite with my stepson a lot because we could just go into matches and I can play for 30 minutes or so. If I play through like a campaign mode on like a game that I'm really into, then getting out of it is a problem. So yeah, I'm into a little bit of everything now. Definitely more than just retro gaming, but I had to commit to some type of name on here. So I went with that. And most of my videos are retro oriented, with emulation and stuff. So it certainly fits. The Sur 7 better emulate Switch flawlessly and run AAA PC games smoothly. Yeah, definitely. For $250 more, they got to do something for you because the Sur 6 Max, like I said, is a very good mini PC. It's capable of a lot. So, if you're upgrading from that and you're charging, that big of a difference, yeah, definitely better come with something impressive. Have a kid Hank that has 11,000 games, a lot of dupes, has mostly everything, but yeah, that's pretty common. I mean, I think everything just has like, and it's funny because I think that they're all using like the same ROM dumps because a lot of times the same duplicates will be on like every setup. So yeah, they're probably just pulling, huge bundles of ROMs from like archive and setting everything up that way. But at least I'll say that most of the stuff I've tested actually runs properly. But yeah, it's unfortunate they don't take the time to, you know, effectively comb through everything, especially when they're charging a decent chunk of change. Some of them are, though, recently, I will say the price points have been very reasonable. So I'll give them credit there at least. I use a Logitech F3110 controller, which has PS3 style controller for PCs, Raspberry Pi. Yeah, RC. So I always use, somebody was asking me that earlier. I was responding to some comments while I was waiting for this live stream to start. And um, yeah, so people are asking me, like, do you use Xbox or PS5 controllers when emulating on PCs? And I always try to stick with like PC controllers. And if I like, an Xbox or a PS style controller, I'll just go with something that has that same, feel to it, but is made for PCs. Because I just think you have a better experience if you don't try to, force something that is supposed to be brand or console specific over to something else. I just think you always have a better experience that way. So yeah, Midnight Club PS2, awesome game. Yes. There's a bunch of those they're all good. I started with Ken Hank Super Console X Pro. It sucked, so I used the library. That's a great way to use it. In all honesty, and it's funny because there's so many different versions of those super consoles now, and some have a good experience, some don't. It just depends on what you're looking for, and of course, what your expectations were too. But yeah, as long as you have like reliable ROMs, you can always put it towards another purpose like that. And I think a Batocera build is always going to be better than what you get on anything like that. Waiting for Defender on Atari 2600 becomes a rarity, and boom, sell for a quadrillion bucks. Hey, got to dream big. Hey, I'm with you there. Gotta do what you gotta do. Dub edition that was actually my favorite. The dub edition. I actually won that at it was a movie theater and it had one of those like arcade game. It's not really an arcade game. Not a claw machine, but like one of those with like the lights that rotated around, and you had to like hit the button so it stopped on like one of the red lights. And I won the dub edition in one of those. And I remember just not knowing, and I wasn't even familiar with the franchise at that time, but I went home and it was for original Xbox, and I played that thing endlessly for like literally years. I had that such a good game, and the soundtrack was pretty sick too. I think that had Nine Inch Nails. I think that's what got me into Nine Inch Nails. I think they had one of their popular songs at the time on there. Remember, most of the Pandora's Box arcade stick had nearly, oh God, 7 King of Fighter duplicates at least, if not like, I just went into one, I think it was like 2 or 3 videos ago, and it was a Pandora Box portable monitor arcade, not arcade, game console. So like the console was built into the monitor, and it was like 2 or 3 videos ago. But I feel like King of Fighters was like the first like 7 pages. It was like 7 versions of every single, King of Fighters that was ever released. So yeah, I relate to that comment right there on limited support, 100%. I was just scrolling through it. I'm like, when does King of Fighters ever end here? Is this console just King of Fighters? Need for Speed franchise is great too. Play Fall Guys and Party Animals with your 3 kids. It's fun for short bursts. I'll give that a go. Have to check that out. Can't play Atari 2600, Coleco, or television on a gamepad. Just doesn't feel right. Yeah, who is it that makes the like reimagined versions of those original controllers? Is it Hyperspin? One of those. I reviewed one for the Atari 2600 a long time ago. It was pretty good, but a couple people said that they had it for longer than I had at the time of the video, and they were like, "Yeah, I love the controller, but it crapped out at like after a certain amount of months." Right? I don't think I ever hit that many months of actually using it. Charles Ortiz, ET, worst game ever made. Yeah, and it could have been good actually. It's just I actually did a video playing that game. I don't know, like 2 years ago here on the channel. Uh, and I got like sucked into it because I was trying to like actually not be good at it because no, I don't think anybody could be good at it. There's so many random fall glitches and stuff, but I got into it because I wanted to like give it a fair shot, and I watched that documentary about it and stuff. But yeah, terrible, terrible game. But in all fairness, they had what like 6 weeks to build the game for Christmas or whatever the backstory was there. But yeah, terrible game. Did you get everything you wanted for Christmas? Yeah, for us, Christmas is just about the kids. So my wife and I don't even like exchange gifts anymore. We just, we get whatever we want, all year round. So, but yeah, it was a good Christmas. No complaints. Sega Genesis games though were so hard. Yeah, Genesis games were definitely hard. Um, I remember mostly like Sonic and stuff. I always that was my game. I always loved the Sonic games. Jeff, yeah, that I love that documentary. That was like I think I watched that like twice during COVID. I mean, we weren't doing much during COVID, so I would just like go on Amazon Prime and just look for like any gaming like documentary, and there was actually at the time a lot of stuff on there, so it worked out. Hyperkin makes an Atari joystick. I haven't tried it though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one that I tried, and it was actually a really good experience. But yeah, just keep in mind that a few people did tell me that it didn't last them a long time. Like I guess they maybe they played it too much, and I don't know how much time they were spending on it to you know have it start falling apart, but much more than me because I like Atari 2600. I like all the Ataris really, but do I play them for long periods of time? Definitely not. They're fun intermittently, but not something I dive into for any extended period of time. Now that you were short on time, do you ever look back on all the hours of time you spent gaming and question it? Um, I look back in general on stuff from the past as like, and I'm like grateful that I had the time, honestly, because now I don't have as much time. So I look back on it and I'm grateful that I did what I did. And if anything, I wish I spent more time more time doing stuff because once you have kids, I think that your priorities shift so much that you'll never get back to that. Even I don't know. I mean, my kids aren't anywhere near the age of being out of the house, but maybe that will change someday. Have you thought of getting any of the recent Atari console releases? Not really, because I think emulation for Atari, for me, it's a good experience. I mean, I didn't grow up playing Atari. I mean, I did a little bit, but not. I wasn't around for when they were actually released and all that stuff. So I don't have that um, desire to have like that true experience. The same way as like there's some consoles now where like I want to play the original version, I don't want to emulate it. And I felt like I was that way with PS2 actually, and then I got a PS2 and I set it all up and I just found that on modern day TVs, it's not the same as having it on, an old school, CRT TV. So then it became like, all right, if I'm going to get the original console, then I got to get an original TV from that time period, and it just became too much. So uh, I ended up switching off to emulation. So, but GameCube I enjoy on the original console quite a bit. Something about having that GameCube console in front of you, and Dreamcast is great for emulation, but because I spent so much time on an old school Dreamcast, there's something about having that controller. And they've re-released like the Dreamcast controllers. I think Hyperspin actually makes that as well, but they're nowhere near what they were back in the day. Like you could get a USB N64 controller and it be comparable to an original N64 controller, but for Dreamcasts, it's not that way at all. Yeah, I miss the open-ended freedom to play as much as I want outside of work. I can totally relate to you there. You don't give gifts with your wife at Christmas. What about Valentine's birthdays? Yeah, Valentine's birthdays, yes, 100%. But Christmas, yeah, we just make it about the kids. And her birthday is like right before, well, not right before Christmas, but within a month of Christmas too. So that kind of, we kind of, focus on that and kind of go all out with that. We usually will go away a little bit for her birthday. But yeah, we just make Christmas all about the kids. While they're young, anyways, I'm sure that'll change, as they get older and Christmas isn't, all about toys and all that stuff the same way as it is when they're younger. The Game Boy Advance version is pretty sick too. Let's see. Have you ever played Time Traveler by Sega at the arcade in the early 90s? It was a cool holographic display arcade cabinet with real actors about a time traveling cowboy. No, I haven't. Why don't I even know about that? You look that up. That sounds interesting. Sega was always like ahead of their time, though. Time Traveler, right? I'm looking at the arcade cabinet right now. Wow, that's interesting. Can we emulate this? That's weird. There's a YouTube video on somebody looks like playing that arcade cabinet. I don't want to play it right now because the audio will come into this stream, but I'm just looking at the arcade cabinet and it's really interesting. Jump back to you. I have to try that out. That looks really, really cool. I remember back when people started modding Pokemon ROMs. Also, hope your holidays were great, my friend. Yeah, good holidays here. Yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon hacks and mods out there. What do you think? What do you think about the Xbox Series S for emulation? Um, excuse me. I haven't done anything with modern Xbox consoles and emulating, but I've been watching actually recently a lot of videos on that stuff, and it looks like it's you certainly have enough power to get through everything really well and to have a good, experience with the performance and everything. So, I think it's worth doing. Obviously, you have to go into, dev mode and all that stuff. But yeah, I've been looking into it, considering it maybe. I've actually been thinking about, I had the Xbox Series X and I actually swapped it out with somebody else for it wasn't like an even trade, but for the Xbox Series S because I just wanted something smaller. I found that the X was big and I wanted to tuck it behind my TV here in this room. But I've been thinking about going to the X and then I've been looking into like videos on modding that as well. So yeah, I don't know if I'll do it, but certainly taking in all the information and weighing it out. But it looks like a good experience. Yes, it can be emulated time traveler. I'm going to add that to my list because I definitely want to see what that's all about. Costello, congratulations to all the winners. Yes, 100%. 3 big wins today because there's some really good giveaways. And then next week, we're going to do some stuff. I haven't really ironed out exactly what I'm giving away, but I got the weekend to figure that out. And then Monday night, I'll jump on here with you guys and I will, announce all the winners. Apparently, Bottasera can run on a PS4, which I find really strange since Bottasera cannot emulate PS4, at least not officially. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's due to the specs of it so much, but um, yeah, I've actually seen some videos on people using a PS4 to do that. I just remember playing Fatal Fury cabinet game at the mall way back. Yeah, I have such fond memories of playing arcade games. That was like my ideal gaming experience as a kid. Wish you could run Linux on Xbox 360, but it locks up because of some source code, I believe, bricks up. That's what I've heard. Yeah, there's some stuff that you could do on a 360, but I really haven't looked into it too in depth. Sonic and Contra on Genesis, yeah, definitely. I'm with you there. Would you go for Xbox Series S or PS4 for emulation? I don't have any modern consoles, so it's my dilemma. I don't have firsthand experience to really recommend one over another, but uh, just from what I've seen more people doing stuff with Xbox personally. I don't know if that's, just because that's what I'm finding myself, or if that's, what people are gravitating towards because of better performance. So I'm not really sure, what would be the best way to go. What do you think about emulation on the Xbox Series X? It looks like a really great experience, honestly, and I've been considering that quite a bit. So coin ops is really pretty, but it seems so hard to set up each system individually. Let me know if I'm wrong. No, I can relate to that. And I haven't done much with coin ops myself, like setting stuff up from scratch. I've gone through like pre-configured setups, and yeah, it's a lot of like work to get all that stuff up and running. It seems so. I just find that Bonacera is so user friendly. That's always the route that I try to take, and because I've had such a seamless experience there, that's always what I've stuck with. Yeah, Gauntlet Arcade. That's my thing right there. I've always wanted to dive into coin ops. Bonacera meets all my gaming needs. Yeah, I always try to stick with the if it's not broke, don't try and fix it. Mentality, and especially Bonacera lately, I feel like it's been really good with like the last few updates. Charles, take care, man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'll I'll see you hopefully Monday night. I'll announce the, the next batch of giveaways. Then, of course, next Friday. So have a good weekend. Yeah, so Joshua says both are good for emulation and dev mode. Excuse me, both are good for emulation. Xbox easier to set up in dev mode. So yeah, that's what I've seen a lot in the YouTube videos that I've been watching. Neo Geo MVS Mini Arcade has been announced with 45 Neo Geo games built in. It looks really cool. Comes with Neo Geo joypad to attach to. It can be hooked up to a TV as well. Yeah, I was just watching some stuff on that, and it looks like a pretty solid option. So I'm a pretty big Neo Geo fan. I mean, majority of what I always jumped into for Neo Geo was uh, Metal Slug. I always loved the Metal Slug games. I remember there were a couple places local that I would go to, and they had a couple different arcade cabinets, so it was always fun to dive in there. You bought a Sarah install guide that was part of one of your videos, which is great. It made setup super easy. I don't know what people are talking about. It's hard as modding a Switch. Yeah, I think that it's pretty straightforward. I think it's a lot of misinformation sometimes online, and I think that kind of works against people sometimes, or they overcomplicate it themselves because it's really not a complex thing to do, especially with Monocera. RetroPie or some of the other things definitely much more complicated, but yeah, Monocera is pretty straightforward. Yeah, Dreamcast was like the early, version of Xbox, in terms of the controller, in my opinion. But I always like that like sculpted feel to it. It was almost like a cross between Xbox and GameCube in some ways. Yeah, I'll agree with you there, Joshua. If you need to like make customizations to emulators, it's definitely limited, in that capacity. So I can definitely see your point there. Oh, nice. Neo Geo on the modded Xbox. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, I am going to wrap this up. Appreciate it. Feel like I'm losing my voice more and more by the minute. So, uh, and Rowan, appreciate it. No wrestling trivia for me. Next week. Next week we'll do it. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here in the live stream. Yeah, definitely gonna get a little bit of rest here, and I'll be back Monday night. I'll announce what the next batch of giveaways are, and then I'll see you guys again next Friday. But uh, as always, absolute blast. Looked forward to this, and certainly didn't disappoint. So thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend, and tomorrow I'll have a video out walking through that 5 terabyte game drive that I got on Amazon, and I'll go through everything that offers, what the experience was like, and all that good stuff. So check back on the channel for that video tomorrow. But have a great weekend. Happy New Year to you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'll see you guys next weekend. Or no, I'll see you guys on Monday night, and then I'll see you next weekend as well. Take care, guys.